Hi, hi, hello, hello. We have a new chapter of Bokuben. We can study. This one is called On the Dusky Riverbank. She finally rose to the X. And here we see not a dusky riverbank, it looks like a nice bright day, but a riverbank nonetheless, with Iruka running her dog. Uh, Surely this is good exercise for her, good exercise for the dog. A pretty fun time in general. But the dog smells something, it runs off. It smells plot development. It smells fan service potential. It smells maybe Nariyuki. I don't know. Some combination thereof. We're getting into it right away though. Yep, it's Nariyuki. It's all of the above. The dog loves him. What a cute dog. And about early today. So it's not dusky. Unless it's referring to like the morning dusk. But like it seems like 99% of the time people use dusk. It's referring to the liminal space between day and night at the end of day, and not between day and night in the morning, it seems. I don't know. Mostly I just wanted to say liminal space, because I've been thinking about liminal spaces. Anyways. It was really hurting last chapter. That's a very tiny, very cute meta joke. And also kind of a plot exposition. Like we have Nariyuki's crutch and his cast as a plot device like when we need it, and this is sort of signaling like, oh, you probably don't need to worry about this anymore. Like it was really hurting last chapter, but now it's probably okay. So don't think that we're going to be too limited by this. Oh, so this is, I was going to be like, I don't remember Uruka having a dog, but I didn't want to later get owned by people pointing out that she actually had a dog in like 5 other chapters. But I really didn't think so. I was actually quite surprised. But it's not originally her dog. It's the dog that helped out when Nariyuki slipped and fell. The dog whom Nariyuki saved, that ran off and got Uruka's attention and saved the day in the end. They still haven't found its proper owner. I see. So we're looking after him. I love dogs. I hope we find his family since I'll be going overseas soon. Ah, it's nice that she's talking about it so openly now. Before she was so afraid to tell him in the first place, and it seemed like just such a sensitive topic. She didn't really want to hurt herself bringing it up. Now she's running and doing some English practice, shouting off keywords in Japanese after hearing them in English. Sure. I wonder what that look on Nariyuki's face is. Normally he's quite expressive, but this one is imperceptible. I think it's to open up any sort of reading you want into their relationship. If you're on Team Iruka, I've talked about this a lot before, kind of ambiguity in Slice of Life series, giving you an opportunity to choose your own adventure in a sense, read your own expression. If you think Nariyuki deep down loves Iruka and Iruka end is inevitable, then his look here is one of sadness, of trying to hold in the sadness. But if you think they're more just good friends, maybe he's thinking like, nah, shucks. Like trying to figure out what mood she's in more than thinking about his own loss. Yeah, okay. So I'm not really sure how this is working logistically, since her and the dog are like running, and he's just hobbling around behind them. But whatever. Keep this up. I'll be going overseas. Ooh. And for a second, he realizes that all of these signs of success that he used to just unilaterally take pride in now signal her departure. Oh. Make sure your speaking is solid. It's an English interview, right? So you gotta stay sharp. Oh, aha. Okay, so we got a dog chasing adventure. Dog has jumped into this rowing team's boat. Oh, that's fun. I like the lack of dialogue in these ones. This is pretty fun. I don't know why Nariyuki is rowing. I'm like almost certain that Uruka is way faster than him, but yeah, there's no way. It's a team of two for the most first off, and they're pro rowers. Of course, they're pro row. They're either pro or dedicated amateurs. What's the row two? Oh, and then the fan service starts. It's Work together in row. I don't think this is actually all that helpful because unless you're in perfect sync, half the time you're just going to be working against yourself, you know? Nah. Is this okay? Cuddly position. Focus, focus. So, alright. So we got this fan service, and it's the type of fan service where it's not just boob on page, but Nariyuki describing all of the sensory experience he's having, much more kind of imaginative, escapist type thing. Sure, 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 sure. This is another hallmark of series like this. So somehow, through their combined embarrassment and just wanting to not think about the situation at all, they've gone super pro. Oh, the foreign guys they met before in question 59. I don't remember at all what happened in question 59. I'm sorry. Let's really try to dig into the memory banks. They speak English, which is why, of course, they're showing up in the Iruka chapters. What were they doing? And why do they look so silly? Is this really what foreigners look like? Is this really what I look like? Excuse me. We want to. They're clearly dating. So this is good. Good English practice. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I like this. Ruka actually understands. It's proof that her English is going really well, but because she's so embarrassed by the situation, she's so embarrassed by what she heard that they think that they're on a date. She's like unable to bring herself to resolve the situation and show off her English skills. It's going to be quite a triumphant moment if she can get over her embarrassment here. But that's nicely lined up. I like that. It's like a triple threat. Whoa, she takes off again. She goes absolutely turbo. She's overheating. Has no idea what to say. Confronted with this objective third-party perspective that they're on a date. Dog. Uh-oh. The boat fell off the dog. The dog fell off the boat, I mean. Please. Ruka speaks. It's about this big. He has shaggy eyebrows and white fur. Please tell me anything you know. Whoa, your English is very good. Wow. Nice, nice. So in a moment of desperation, this is something kind of true that I've heard. That your language abilities often are limited just by your own self-doubt. And that's why a lot of people say that they can speak their second languages better if they start drinking. But there's kind of a nice peak where you're just drunk enough that you stop second-guessing yourself and you can actually speak confidently, which goes a long way. And then imagine in a panic situation like this, in a really got to convey something right away to find this dog type incident, but a similar thing would happen. You would stop doubting yourself. You would stop second guessing every single word choice, and you just plunge ahead in English. Handsome guy over there is your friend. Oh, nice. So the dog, I think, made all these moves himself. He jumped onto the boat, and then he jumped off the boat because he sensed his owner. He saw his owner. He smelled his owner. Whatever. Cool. Hey, cool. Oh, what? I didn't even expect that resolution. Sure, sure, sure. He jumped in the boat to get back to his owner. What a dramatic performer. That kid looks familiar. Oh, is this yet another reference? The series is so good with that. All these little Easter eggs that whenever they have like a minor one-chapter character, they'll look for the opportunity to like redeploy a previous character just to kind of interconnect the world a little bit. I like that. And if I was like a super fan, if I could just pick up on this stuff myself, the way I do reading like One Piece or something, that would be a lot of fun. But, you know, you can only do so much. He jumped in the boat to get back to his owner. Yeah. Aw, how nice. Head home. It was more rigorous than exercise than I intended. Got pretty crazy. She's so bold now. Both her and Rizurin are getting kind of bold. They're actually behaving in their own self-interest, which I think is really, really nice. You know, I'm fine with kind of the lack of progress in a lot of these chapters. Even when they do kind of something dramatic, sometimes it still ends up resetting itself by the end of the chapter. You know, that's just the trapping of weekly shonen rom-com stuff. That's fine. But what I still really like because of that is when the girls are going for what they want. Even if they're not full on confessing, even if they know that it's just going to bounce off his thick head and you won't understand the significance of it, they still want to have these moments. I think that's really nice. And I think that's like, I don't know, an acceptable compromise to romance in life. No? If you don't feel like you can actually be with that person, like in a romantic relationship, you can still enjoy your time together. You can still try to make that time special. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Want to roast some more? Yeah, see? She's just going for it. She's just, like, she'd love a rowboat date with Nariyuki. So why not have one? It seems like I can actually speak some English now. Honestly, I was impressed. Your pronunciation was good too. You've really worked hard. Oh, that's so nice. And they just had that one line earlier about we got to make sure your speaking is good because there'll be the English interview. So, you know, this is just a nice little payoff. Something to celebrate. She's progressed a lot towards her dreams, more than I ever expected. Guess that wraps that up. But, so we got like 1 or 2 pages left. I actually think it could be confession time. Okay? Because there's not much time left before she goes overseas. That's just the reality of it. And I laugh when I say that because, you know, they can stretch time however you like in a weekly manga. It could be years worth of chapters before she goes overseas, just because they focus even more on day to day or whatever. Anyways, still though, plus the title of this chapter was finally rows out to X or whatever. And we saw the rowing part, of course. But the significance of finally here, to me, makes me think something more is going to happen. Do you think? I don't know. I don't know. I actually, somehow I believe it's possible just because of that little clue. I guess that wraps that up, but do you think she'll, if it is confession scene, I think she's going to confess in English. And that'll be a nice moment. Oh, I'm glad, but also a little bit sad. Yeah. For some reason, I said that with 2 meanings in my heart. It is a little sad. 2 meanings in my heart. So she's speaking obstinately that it's good that they found the owners. It's good that we were able to help the dog get back to its owners. But it's a little sad because I'll miss the dog, right? That's the surface level of what she's talking about. But then, of course, their conversation is also referring to her being able to speak English well, therefore she's quite likely to pass the English exam, therefore it's quite likely that she's going overseas. And so it's like, on the level of I'm glad covers both those subjects quite well, but then a little bit sad then hints at this second layer of her going overseas that neither of them will really full on acknowledge, which is, of course, that they'll miss each other. And putting aside secret crushes and whether or not these feelings are reciprocated and whether or not there's going to be a Ruka end, I don't think it's still just a very beautiful and tender moment, just thinking about someone going away and thinking about how you'll be sad. How excited you are for them, but how you'll also be sad. It's a really, really lovely panel here, I think. The two of them sitting in the rowboat. You can't quite see their faces. This is nice. Okay, a nice chapter. A little goofy, bit of fan service, very action packed, but nice development of the characters and this beautiful little ending. Oh, yeah. Okay. We will look forward to next chapter. For a second, I kind of felt the confession was coming. I don't know, but they'll make those more dramatic, I'm sure. The confession chapters, I think, from at least halfway through, we're gonna be in that real, tender, sentimental space of confession. Ooh, I think it's gonna be good. Yeah, I don't know. This series, I'm a little cynical about it. You know, sometimes I talk about it, how it works in a cynical way, but overall, I have a good time reading it. Bye bye.